Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I figured we would do another paint and chat with me. So of course, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. I do a lot of these painting videos where I just show you guys a new painting that I'm working on, and I just chat with y'all, let you guys get to know a little about me, and try to answer some questions that y'all might have, and then hopefully get to know you guys. I really love when y'all comment on my videos and maybe something resonates with you guys, or you just have a random thought that you want to share. I love when I'm able to connect with y'all. So definitely leave a comment if there's anything that I talk about or that you just feel like sharing about yourself. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, like this video if you like it. So just like my last painting video, I am using the Leda Art Supply cold press watercolor paper. I just love it so much. It's definitely 100% my favorite watercolor paper. So I'm actually really wanting to just do a whole bunch of these types of drawings that it's they all kind of go together. I think that'd be really fun. So this one is kind of reminiscent of the other painting that I did previously. So if you haven't seen that one, I will of course put it in one of those cards. It'll pop up right now. So it's kind of like a same vibe painting, and I feel like they could be a collection or something. All right, so I don't know about you guys, but I have been so nostalgic lately. Every year there are certain times of each year that I feel really nostalgic for, just things that I usually did around this time in my childhood or just growing up. And I get so nostalgic, and it makes me really happy and, slightly sad at the same time, because I feel like nostalgia is one of those things. It makes you feel really good to reminisce, but it's also a little sad when you realize okay, I can never go back to that time I'm reminiscing on, I just feel like I'm somebody that lives in the past for sure. It's currently July right now. August is just around the corner, and this time of year really gets me feeling those first day of school feels. I've been out of school for a long time now, but I still around this time get excited and nervous for all the kids that are going back to school and their first day is coming up. Because I can still remember exactly how I felt when I was a kid or when I was a teenager, knowing that I was going to have to go back to school in a few weeks. And every day, it's each day that passes is just a countdown to the first day of school. And I would sometimes lay in bed just getting sick to my stomach with nerves. And then first day of school would come and, face my fear, and boom, everything's normal. But yeah, so I always get really nostalgic around this time of year, and I just remember coming home from school and eating dinner with my parents. It'd be I come home from school and I go out on the swing set and I just come up with all kinds of these storylines to play out or ride my bike. And especially since fall is around the corner, it would be those really nice days where it's sunny, but it's there's a chill in the air and the leaves are blowing off of the trees, and my mom would have the windows open in the dining room, and she'd be cooking and the house would smell so good, and there was a certain lighting and a certain vibe in the house. And then my dad would come home from work and we'd all sit at the table and eat. And I don't know, I really miss those afternoons, those evenings of eating dinner with, my family. And I feel like I'm constantly chasing that. All right, so did any of you guys play The Sims, the original Sims, the very first one, when it was, just blocky characters and you couldn't customize anything? And that game was actually kind of scary, and it was really hard. If you didn't cheat the money. It was so hard, and I don't think I understood the concept of like gaining skills in order to get ahead in your career. I just didn't get it. I would say one of the things that really got me into the whole idea of like Hollywood and wanting to be famous and being a celebrity was 100% the Sims Superstar expansion pack, y'all. When I think of Hollywood, I think of Sims Superstar. Like, okay, if you played it, remember whenever you're going into, what was it called, Studio Town? Remember that little map where you would pick where you want to go? I would stare at that for the longest time and like watch the little cars in the traffic. I would stare at it for so long, and I loved that music that went with it. That is how I picture Hollywood. And let me just say, that is not what Hollywood looks like, sadly. I wish. Slightly disappointing, but it's all right. But yeah, I loved Sims Superstar, and that was also really, really hard. That was such a difficult game. Like, getting famous on there was really hard. So of course, you know, being like, what, 5, it was a challenge for sure. But I loved that expansion pack. It was probably my favorite. I actually still like to listen to the music from that expansion pack when I'm like drawing or something. There's a certain time of year that I especially like to listen to it. But another expansion pack that I absolutely loved, and it's probably one of the best they've ever come out with, is Making Magic. Oh, I miss the first Sims so much, but I wish I could experience it for the first time again, like not knowing how much they would advance throughout the years. I wish I could just experience it for what it was all over again, because the Making Magic expansion pack was phenomenal, and the music was amazing, and the vibe of like Magic Town or whatever it was called was so fun. And like, oh, who else played that? Please, like, if you played any of those expansion packs, or if you just played The Sims, please let me know down below, because I miss being a kid playing The Sims for hours. And I honestly wish I could relive that first moment that I played The Sims 2, because the advancement from the first to the second one is insane when you think about it. But now, you know, I'm very jaded because I've played the third and fourth one as well. So sometimes I think back to, you know, the way that I would play outside, because pretty much every single day of my childhood, I went outside and I played. I would come home from school and immediately go outside and either get on the swing set. In fact, I'm pretty sure every day I got on the swing set and would play. But I could play for hours, like all day on the weekends or in the summer. Didn't matter how hot it was, didn't matter if it was raining. I could play all day long, and just some of the most random scenarios. But what's funny is pretty much every single storyline I would play ended with me becoming famous. Like that was just all I thought about all day long, and every single day was getting famous. I mean, I really thought for some reason I had this idea that I would be discovered, you know, on a day that I went to Super Target with my mom, or if I went to the mall that I would get discovered. Yeah. Little kid me, she had dreams, I'll tell you that. Or I did also like playing like I was a witch. And then I had magical powers. Yeah, I don't know. It was just every single thing was centered around being famous. My goodness. It's really kind of funny and it's just funny to think about, like, that was such a big thing when I was a kid. When I would ride my bike around in my driveway and on the sidewalk and stuff, I at one point I got a bicycle that had handbrakes, and so I would always pretend when I was on my bike that I was driving in my convertible through Los Angeles, and I would use my handbrakes, like I would flick it really quickly and pretend it was my blinker. And honestly, thinking back on that, it's like, you know what, that's pretty clever. Like, good job, girl. That's clever. I like that. But yeah, so I would just quickly flick the handbrake. And then I think sometimes I would go for the blinker. I will say I haven't ridden a bike in years. I mean, since I was a kid. And I actually don't know if I'd be able to ride a bike anymore. I had grown up getting on our swing set in the backyard every single day. Every day after I got home from school, on the weekends, I would always end up being on the swing set at some point. So Jacob and I went to a park so that I could swing on a swing set again, and I discovered that it makes me really sick. I was so sad. I was so genuinely disappointed. It felt like a piece of my childhood officially ended at that point. It was like I closed a chapter or a book on my childhood when I discovered that swinging on a swing set makes me really sick. Like, I got home and I had to lay down in bed for a couple of hours because I just felt like I was going to throw up. Something else I would always play is, especially when it was like Oscars time of year, I would go outside and in my driveway, I would walk on the driveway and like pretend that I was on the red carpet, and I would stop every few steps and do an interview, and then I would, pose a bunch. And that was one of the games that I always played in my driveway, was pretending I was on the red carpet. And then a few years ago, Jacob and I went to California, and we actually got to walk on the area that they have the red carpet every year. And when we were walking through it, at one point Jacob said, "Hey, this is your driveway." That just really, really got me. Like, that really hit, it like struck a chord. And it made me really happy because it was like, oh my gosh, like, little kid me is so happy right now. Like, I can, if I ever went back in time, I can finally tell her, you made it. You went to Hollywood. You got to see the real thing. You got to actually walk where they have the red carpet. But it also was like, I don't know, it made me tear up, honestly, thinking about, I don't know, it was like, I'm here now. I did it. I did that thing that I always dreamed of as a kid and I would pretend to do in my driveway, and now it's the real thing. I mean, it wasn't the real red carpet, but it was where they have the red carpet. It's honestly, it's just too bad that when we become adults, it's like, even if I were to try and I knew nobody was watching me and no judgment at all, and I didn't mind a little bit of embarrassment or something, even if I tried to play, I just don't think I can. I feel like, our brains kind of, once they develop as we get older and older, it's like, it's almost impossible. And that's really, really, honestly, too bad. I think maybe adults would be a lot happier if, when they got home from work, they could just go outside and play and like imagine all kinds of just scenarios and play like they're a kid. And I mean, the way that I played, if I didn't have my friends over, if I wasn't hanging out with my friends, I mean, if you were to see me, I was talking to myself, basically, because I'm playing out these storylines outside, but nobody else is there. I'm just pretending that they're there. It's all imaginary. So it would look like I'm talking to myself. And I feel like if adults could do that, we'd all be a little bit happier, We'd all be a little more satisfied. Because, I mean, honestly, when I was a kid and I could play any kind of storyline I wanted to, I could live out all kinds of dreams that I had. And I think we kind of need that as adults too, you know? I don't know. Maybe we'd all be a little happier and less stressed out if we could just go outside and play with no fear of judgment or feeling stupid or anything. Yeah, I guess I would say fall or like autumn and summer are when I get the most nostalgic. There's just like a feeling in the air. It's like there's a way that the lighting hits, there's the way the sun looks, the way that the like air smells, and the breeze, the way it feels. And I feel like I'm constantly chasing that and wanting to relive it again. Like I remember, you know, my family and I would do bonfires, or not bonfires, like, you know, we had a fire pit. So like in the fall on like a Friday or a Saturday night, I think it was usually actually on a Friday night, we would all, you know, eat hot dogs or chili and sit around the fire pit and, you know, stay out there until so late at night just talking about anything and everything. It would be, you know, me and my parents and my two sisters, and we would just talk about all kinds of stuff and look up at the stars and, you know, point out the constellations that we could find. And I really, really miss that. I really do. There was just something so cozy, but almost like, you know, it's autumn, it's nighttime. Where our family home is, there's a lot of trees all around. So it was also slightly creepy, but in a really fun way. Not creepy in like a I didn't feel safe kind of way. It was creepy in like that Halloween, October kind of eerie feel, but you have fun with it. And I just, like, I look back on those nights and I would pay so much money to go back to those times, you know? It was just such a great time. I mean, we could talk about things for hours, just all kinds of things. And I always feel like as a kid, when I would watch like the flames in the fire pit just dancing around and stuff, those were especially the moments when I was like, man, I wish magic was real. Man, I wish witches were real. Something else I went back and I did once I was older, like actually I did it just this year. So I remember the Christmas that I got my Game Boy, and I was, oh my gosh, the thing, it's so cute. It's like a frosty blue color, like a icicle blue. It's so pretty. And I had been wanting it so badly, and I was constantly just asking for it and saying I so badly wanted it. And then I finally got it for Christmas, and I remember that summer spending so much time playing Mario Brothers, and like it took me all summer and then honestly like the school year to be able to beat that thing and like get through all the levels. It was really, really hard. It was a huge challenge. And what's really sad is like it took me so long when I was a kid to complete that game, and it was so much fun. And then I just recently tried playing it again, and you guys, I was able to beat it so quickly. And it, again, made me really sad because I was like, this used to be so hard. And, you know, I would spend weeks, you know, trying to beat one level or like one world. And then the last time I played it, I got through like 3 worlds within an hour or two. And that made me sad. I wanted it to be just as challenging, you know, because that's what made it fun. Because then you had the satisfaction every time you beat it. But this time it was just really easy. Anyway, I would really really love to know what feels nostalgic to you guys, or is there like a time of year that you get especially nostalgic, or are there things that, you know, like memories that you have that you love so much, or that you wish that you could recreate, or toys that take you back, or, you know, a movie, or even a sound. You know, sometimes there's a certain sound that it just takes you back. Like if you ever played those Barbie games on, I don't remember, it was like Games for Girls or something. It was a website and they had a bunch of Barbie games, and there are certain sounds that I had completely forgotten about until I came across a video of it on Instagram, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is taking me back. This is the best thing ever. But so, you know, there's so many different things that'll just take you back in time. So I would really love to know what kind of stuff gives you guys those feels, because there are just so many things that I wish I could relive again. And it's always really fun hearing what other people like remember from their childhood, and especially if it's like something that it's like, oh my gosh, I hadn't thought about that in years. Yes. So let me know below what it is for you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. And yeah, I'll let you guys know whenever my new collection comes out. There should be a video hopefully later on this week, kind of showing a little sneak peek on what I've been working on, especially for my witch collection. So be on the lookout for that. And until then, I will see you guys later. Bye. Love ya.